What's going on, people? Welcome back to our Flame Racing Reviews. As you guys know, Ryan Hunter-Reay has been signed to the Indy 500. Of course, we got the Indy 500 cap on and the best Indy 500 t-shirt a man can get. This shirt is brought to you by today's lovely sponsor, Keepsakers. Keepsakers makes the most unique and best IndyCar t-shirts out there. They're one of a kind, and you can only get them at Keepsakers. Where can you get them at? Any IndyCar race weekend. Cooper, it's the off-season. How can you get Keepsakers? Well, luckily for you, they have a wonderful website down below, and they're running a wonderful Black Friday deal / holiday deal for you guys. The code is no spaces. There's no spaces in any of this. Absolutely none. Capital B, capital F, number 20. Capital B, capital F 20. BF20 to get 20% off. You don't want to miss it. This is, you got to get your shirt now so you can be styling at the racetrack come St. Pete time on March 1st. You gotta check out Keepsakers. So, now let's talk about Ryan Hunter-Reay and what this maybe means for all the IndyCar seats. So Ryan Hunter-Reay today has been announced to drive the number 31 Air McLaren machine in the Indy 500. Fun fact, when I saw the number 31, I was like, well, that's a random number. Turns out 31 is Ryan Hunter-Reay's first ever number he used on his IndyCar debut. Personally, I did not know that. I feel like I probably should have known that for how much I covered the sport, but I didn't know that, and he debuted actually pretty much before I was born, I believe, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I was definitely not watching the sport when Ryan Hunter-Reay was born. I started watching it in 2014, and Ryan Hunter-Reay actually won my very first Indy 500. So this is a pretty special, driver for me. I remember being a 6-year-old kid watching, standing up on a cooler, watching Ryan Hunter-Reay and Elliot Castroneves, and I'll never forget him almost going in the grass. I mean, he's such a special driver to me. He brings so many memories to the Indy 500 for me, and it's just super, super, just honestly terrific to see him get the seat that I think he deserves. When you think about it, Ryan Hunter-Reay should have probably won 2 or 3 Indy 500s. He's come close. McLaren should have won 1 or 2 Indy 500s by now. The only 500 McLaren has won is like 50 years ago with Johnny Rutherford. It was a great win, right? But it's like Ryan Hunter-Reay's 2014 win. It was a great win, yet they've only won 1. Yet I would say McLaren hasn't won 1, because if they win it this year, everyone would call it McLaren's their first win, which it probably is, right? Well, it isn't, but it is. Under the Zach Brown and the Pato O'Ward era, it would be their first win. And I think bringing Ryan Hunter-Reay makes a lot of sense, because you have Pato O'Ward, who's got this place locked up. He knows what he's doing. Pato does not need help at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Pato can easily go out there and win. Pato does not need help. Pato's on lock. But when you think about it, Christian Lundgaard, who's tremendous, who just had this awesome season with McLaren. All these podiums, had a pole position or 2, didn't quite win a race. That's okay. And he struggled on the ovals. We're not gonna sugarcoat it. He struggled on the ovals, and I think a part of his struggle this year is at the Indianapolis 500. It made McLaren not look very good when I think they were one of the better teams, is because they only had one driver. Christian was good, but he's not there yet. And I think Ryan Hunter-Reay can really help Christian Lundgaard get there to where maybe he's not on a Pato O'Ward level, but he's like on maybe like a Colton Herta or like a Felix Rosenqvist, someone who can really compete in the top 10, and if he's got a really good car, compete for the win. And, I think he can become that driver at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Of course, this might sound crazy and age bad. I don't think Christian Lundgaard will ever win the Indy 500, but I think he can become a competitive driver at the Indy 500. And obviously, Ryan Hunter-Reay can help Nolan Siegel tremendously. Nolan Siegel's rookie year in 2024 at Dale Coyne, he got bumped, and then this year he's with McLaren, and he really, really struggled. Let's not face it. These past 2 years at the Speedway have been really rough on Nolan Siegel. That's not even being mean. That's just factual. Nolan Siegel has struggled at the Indianapolis 500 the past 2 years. Ryan Hunter-Reay can really help Nolan Siegel. I think he's going to help Nolan Siegel more than he'll help Christian Lundgaard. I really do. I think Ryan Hunter-Reay and Pato O'Ward's minds together with all their great engineers will be great. That's going to help Lundgaard really catch up to them, and it's really going to help Nolan Siegel probably learn the learning battles that a lot of drivers learn on their own. But hey, some drivers are really, really talented, and it takes time for them to develop. Maybe that's Nolan Siegel, and that's what McLaren sees in him, and maybe Nolan Siegel is going to win 3 races in 2028. Who knows? Or 2027 or 2026. Who knows when his breakout year is going to be. And I think that Ryan Hunter-Reay can really help with that. Also, one thing that I want to talk, we have talked about Ryan Hunter-Reay helping people. I saw something where this could be Ryan Hunter-Reay's last Indy 500. I don't think it's Ryan Hunter-Reay's last Indy 500. In interviews, he's saying how determined he is, how much he wants this, how much he wants to keep going. He has no desire to go full-time again. That's been very clear in interviews. Ryan Hunter-Reay has zero desire to be full-time, but his desire at Indy is so alive. How awesome would it be to be Ryan Hunter-Reay? He's retired, but he works one day out of the year at the Indy 500. Works one day. He's working a lot more than just one day out of the year. But you guys get what I'm saying. He races one race a year, and he's a race car driver. But he's so good at the Indy 500. He's earned this opportunity. And taking the 31, I could see it being his last Indy 500. The feel good story of it, him going out with his first number he debuted with. But I don't think that's the case. I think it would have been announced on the post today that Ryan Hunter-Reay would be retiring, kind of like they did with Tony Kanaan. But I don't think this is going to be it for Hunter-Reay. I think he'll be there this year for sure in 26. I think he'll be there in 27 unless they can sign someone really cool. But I think this is probably a 2-year deal. McLaren honestly does not like signing their one-off drivers to a 1-year deal. When they started this, they started with Juan Pablo Montoya, 2-year deal. Then they went to Kanaan, a rare 1-year deal. And then Larson the past 2 years. So I would assume this is probably a 2-year deal. And I could see Ryan Hunter-Reay running these 2 Indy 500s and calling it a day, which would make a lot of sense. He's got a great family, that he lives in Florida. It would make a lot of sense to run these last 2 with McLaren and try and get one last win, which would be pretty cool. And maybe his goal is to help Christian and Nolan along. But obviously, if you're signing the Indy 500, you're not there to help. You're there to win. And I think he's there to win. I think he's got a good shot at it. And another thing that I would like to point out is there's now an Andretti seat, which I think will go to Colton Herta, and now there's a Dry Reinbold seat, which I have no idea who's going to go to. Probably Connor Daly, but if it's not Connor Daly, if he goes full-time, who the hell gets that seat? I have no idea. We'll make an this weekend I'll make an Indy 500 entry list prediction. That's what I'll do this weekend. I'll make a really cool, nice edited video for you guys about who I think the Indy 500 entry list is going to look like. And McLaren, they like signing big names. They signed Kyle Larson for the publicity stunt, and he could have won. Juan Pablo Montoya, 2-time winner, signed him. Tony Kanaan, a winner, signed him. Ryan Hunter-Reay, a winner, signed him. So they're pretty good at making these one-off entries with solid drivers, and they've got another one. So with this being said, guys, check out Keepsakers, 20% off, BF20. With that being said, see ya.